All right, we're ready for part 2 of our 3 parts in getting ready to permanently mount our sample slices. I have flooded the sample slices now with the fume covered on twice on the back side, twice on the front faces, and I will flood them again just before I put my resin on and mount the glass on top of the sample, and you'll get to see that. The glasses are a little bit more tricky. You do the same process, but the thing with glass is you want to try to go for that flooding method, pulling with your tissue from the top to the bottom. If you furiously rub, you're going to rub the oil back into the glass. And do this till you see no oil. There can be no oil, no dust, no speck of anything that could disturb the bond, the zero bond between the glass and the sample slice. So if I'm displeased, I think I've cleaned my glass, but I get to the point that I'm going to use it and I see something I don't like, I'll try to blow the dust off, and if that doesn't work, I'll flood it again and clean it so it's absolutely perfect, to give yourself the best chance for that zero bond. So what we do now, everything is ready on our bench to start prep of our resin. Now we're moving to a tiny little 20 ml cup, and I'll move this in. Normally I would mix half of that. I mix 10 ml at a time, and I've marked that on the bottom for you. And I've also added that I put 0.4 on the 1 ml pipette, but that will read 0.6 because it's a blowout pipette. But I'll show you that in a second. And rarely do I use the big mix of 20 ml these days unless I'm laying up mammoth slides. And mammoths tend to need a lot more resin. So I'd mix that larger mix when I'm doing large samples. And that takes a 0.8 of a mil out of a blowout pipette, or it reads 0.2 on the pipette. And we'll look at that in a minute. The thing about mixing is you pour your resin into your little cup. I'll hold it so we don't lose it. And then as soon as you add your MEKP, the resin starts to cure. So it's all about having your cleaned sample slices and glass absolutely ready to go. You add your MEKP, stir it with, I've got little bamboo sticks, and you'll see that in the next video. You stir that up until the resin goes clear. It's slightly pale blue here, and then it will go clear when you add and mix the MEKP. Right, so what we do is, let's say your sample slice is ready to go, and I'll just demonstrate quickly here. I'm gonna have to get my bamboo stick out of my little chemical cupboard here. Hold on. Right. Sorry. All right. So let's say we've got our mix. I'm going to pour a line down the middle of the sample. Not too much, just enough. You'll learn what that means. And then you take a little bamboo stick, I'll send what I have left up to you, and you smooth that line of resin back and forth across the surface of the sample noting where it's sinking in. You want enough resin. If it drinks up the resin that you've poured, add another drop more. And then smooth it out, making sure to hit each corner. And then you're going to put that on the press. So I'm going to turn the camera now to look at the press. You'll hear my voice. I don't know if you'll be able to see me, but we'll give it a go. We're going to look at the press and the darts. Let's have a look here. Maybe that's good. So here's our sample slice loaded with resin. You're going to center it. Center that sample slice under the dart. Under the dart, right? Let's see if I can get that a little bit better. Maybe, no, I think there is probably the best that we'll do. But I'll get this set up better when we go for our video. You're going to take your glass, which is all tidy and clean, blow across the surface, and then you're going to take it and drop it on or wedge it on to your sample, and then center it and press the air out. Press the air out. Then you're going to take your sample block and you're going to slide it, touch the bottom of the dart, slide it over, center it on the glass and the sample, and there you go. You've got your alignment. If you're not happy, take your block out, realign your glass if you need to, and then, as I say, touch the bottom of the dart for your brass block, slide it across, drop it down centered, and the last thing to do is to lift your dart, take out its little plastic holder really, and slide that dart down. Let it drop with you holding it. Don't let it just drop, because these darts are under pressure. That will make quite a bang. Let me demonstrate. Up and down, and that now is pressing as best possible, we hope, across the surface of the block and down onto the glass, pressing all the air bubbles out and creating what we call the zero bond. That's what we're after. Now, I hope that makes sense, but of course your first couple times of doing this, you're going to be a bit frustrated because you have to learn how to work clean, how to work fast, and how to work precise so that everything on the press is set by centering. So the next video, stage 3, I will just shoot me mixing the resin, holding that up to the camera and showing you the pipette, and then we will load maybe a couple samples. I'll turn you now here. We'll load a couple samples just so you can view that, and then I'll show you the end shot of the whole press loaded. And then of course that will go overnight for curing, another 24 hours, and we'll be set to do the final stage, which is the actual going for our thin section. So let me set up to get our resin out, and you will hear the fume cupboard going in the video. You will hear it, but that's all right, because I'm not going to try to talk over it. You'll be able to follow what's going on now.